They threw Russia out, which I claimed was a very big mistake, even though I wasn't in politics then. I was very loud about it. Sorry about that. This is it.
It's the G7. You can't trust any of the 7 nations involved. It's pretty interesting to watch this. One bit I love is where Donald Trump goes, yeah, you should have kept Russia. Where's Russia? I wouldn't have kicked Russia out. Everyone else is really trying to appease him. Trump continues to be, at least in this environment, authentic. Is the global stage the place where Trump might demonstrate the fact that he is the man and the leader that many people believe they were electing? Is it possible for him to resurrect that faith with the changes that are being made in administration when it comes to the significant subjects of immigration and forever wars? Let me know what you think about that in the comment and chat. Here's the leader of my country, the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer, taking a stroll in sort of a mountainous rain. It's in Canada, actually. That's where the G7 is taking place. Some people have pointed out that Keir Starmer's mountain stroll looks a little Hitlerian. Just that moment there. I mean, Adolf Hitler was fond of posing in front of mountains, wasn't he? That's Hitler in his whites. He didn't go with that look that often, did he? We're more familiar with sort of the brown-shirted version of Dear Adolf. And there, Keir Starmer stands reflective, authoritative on the precipice of surely great things in front of a Canadian river and a Canadian mountain range. But the G7 was not, it seems, a symposium for revealing the greatness of our leaders, but their all too evident and obvious fallibility. That's one of the themes that we're discussing today, the implausibility of the, inverted commas, great man. People are flawed and fallible. All of them will fall apart eventually because, that's the way time works, baby. Let's have a look at Keir Starmer's recent piece of PR at the G7 summit. Be normal, be normal, be normal, be normal. Be normal, be normal, be normal, be normal.
The UK, and we just signed.
In this moment, a trade deal is finally signed between Starmer and Trump. It gets dropped on the floor. I don't know if you believe in symbolism, inadvertent symbolism in moments like that. I kind of do. Now, who do you think is going to bend down and pick it up?
A document. This is... Sorry about that. This is it.
I'll get that. Don't worry. Oh, you shouldn't have picked it up, Keir. You shouldn't have picked it up. I mean, there's politeness. Do you think that was politeness or deferentialism?
A very important document.
Important seems to have dropped it on the blooming floor, as a matter of fact.
A little windy out here. Give me that. We just signed it, and it's done. And so we have our trade agreement with the European Union. And it's a fair deal for both.
Oh dear, Keir Starmer there in a single gesture offering us an inflection that would never have been received through mere description, that he will bow down before Trump at a moment's notice. Pretty unfortunate. Trump is irritated by Macron. Now listen to this. Macron apparently claimed that Trump left the G7 summit to go to DC to work on a ceasefire. Wrong! He has no idea why I'm now on my way to Washington, but it certainly has nothing to do with a ceasefire. Much bigger than that. Whether purposely or not, Emmanuel always gets it wrong. Stay tuned. Let us know if you're aware of some of the errors that Emmanuel Macron may have made in his private life when it comes to the nether regions of his alleged missus. Here's Mark Carney commending Trump for his leadership. Now, what's interesting about this is we know that Mark Carney hates Donald Trump. He hates him. He's publicly said it. He's privately said it. He's built a campaign around how he's going to oppose Trump's attempts to make Canada the 51st state. Nevertheless, though, here he involves himself in a little bit of statecraft that seems disingenuous.
Nostalgia isn't a strategy. We have to change with the times and to build a better world. And some of you, such as you, Mr. President, have anticipated these massive changes and are taking bold measures to address them. All of us around this table are reinforcing our militaries and security services for the new world. But we all know that there can be no security without economic prosperity and no prosperity without resilience. And in a world where shocks flow across the borders, that resilience comes from cooperation, cooperation.
What a lot of total bollocks. Is there anyone among us that thinks that that's anything other than a PR exercise, that any of the explicit information that's rendered and conveyed from that little summit will impact your life in ways that are meaningful, that it's anything other than the performance of politics? The problem is, of course, that we get the real politics seeping out through the constant exposure and leaks of various institutions now that are unable to control the narrative in the way that they once did. This is the post-Assange, post-WikiLeaks, post-Snowden world, where all of us know that governments functionally have relationships with surveillance companies that operate on the level of total control, and there's something like the G7. There she is, Ursula von der Leyen. Note that individual pulled the strings behind the scenes, making deals with big corporations and giant entities, and then their job is how to tart that stuff up, how to put a little bit of lipstick on their corruption to keep us compliant and on board. Trump, though, this might be the moment where Trump loses a significant portion of his popular base. Certainly it's going to be divided because, as that post pointed out, if you lose Matt Walsh on immigration, Tucker Carlson on global war, this is an extraordinary moment. But here, Trump is able to demonstrate the facility and ability that makes so many people feel great fealty and adulation towards him, digging people out publicly in a way that you'll never get from the globalists. Have a look at this.
Together very well. I look forward to that. The G7 used to be the G8. Barack Obama and a person named Trudeau didn't want to have Russia in. And I would say that that was a mistake, because I think you wouldn't have a war right now if you had Russia in. And you wouldn't have a war right now if Trump were president 4 years ago. But it didn't work out that way. But it used to be the G8. And now it's, I guess, what's that, 8 years ago, it switched over. They threw Russia out, which I claimed was a very big mistake. Even though I wasn't in politics then, I was very loud about it. It was a mistake in that you spend so much time talking about Russia, and he's no longer at the table. So it makes life more complicated. But you wouldn't have had the war. Other than that, I think we're going to accomplish a lot.
Just has to sort of stand there and put up with him criticising them in a way that's outside of the tacit vernacular of the political class. The tacit vernacular is, you compliment me, I'll compliment you. We'll sit around this table with Ursula von der Leyen and pretend that we're the representatives of democracies that have brought us into leadership via mandates. We'll pretend that when elections don't go our way, as in Romania, or when a political figure like Marine Le Pen, who I might disagree with on a million things, rises to prominence in France, we'll find a way of unweaving her popularity and her power. We'll find a way of excluding candidates that represent the politically voiceless. We'll find ways of excluding them from the process. How? By saying that we're protecting you from the far right. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. This isn't your Nan's free dried sadness in a tin. This isn't the dregs of a wrung out sanitary product. This is real coffee. You don't sip it, you experience it. It breaks into your subconscious like a caffeinated raccoon rifling through the flaming garbage and screams, "Rise, you beautiful dumpster wizard." History isn't going to rewrite itself. 1775 coffee is single origin, high altitude, organic, small batch roasted beans. This coffee makes you feel seen, makes you feel alive, makes you feel like charging into Parliament on horseback with a scroll of forbidden knowledge and a cinnamon stick. So if you're drinking something brewed for equity, packaged for compliance and roasted for softness, spit it out. Get yourself a proper brew, Bonnie Blue. Spit it out fast. Go to 1775coffee.com/brand and lock in on their starter kit with free coffee and merch. Thanks for watching the video. Have a look at this one over here, or join us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Rumble.